Welcome to the Diva Details. Welcome to the Diva Details, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia.
Hello, this is Diva Mia, and today I wanted to talk to you about dating. So we've talked a little bit about flirting, we've talked a little bit about kissing. Now we're going to cover the art of dating. I think it's important, the communication that goes along with it, because it will determine whether or not you date someone long term or whether it's a short-term dating situation. We're all trying to find the soulmate that is the person that makes us feel comfortable, makes us feel like we've met the person that matches our values, that aligns with us, that is romantic, that does things the same way we would do things. Finding your soulmate is what I think we're all kind of looking for. The dating apps have kind of polluted it a little bit. I think it gives you opportunities to meet more people, but at the same time, a lot of people don't give the right people the amount of time that they need. You have to decide right away what you're looking for, whether you're looking for a relationship, whether you're looking for marriage, whether you're looking for just some fun time with someone else, some connection, some closeness. You have to decide what's most important to you. I think emotional intelligence is a big part of this, because you need to look inward and say, where am I at in my life and what am I specifically looking for? Because it may be a point in your life you don't always have to go for a relationship. Maybe you're just wanting someone to hang out with once in a while. Maybe you're looking for someone to date once in a while. It doesn't have to be your forever person just because you're dating them. But if that's the situation, you need to make sure you explain that to the other person. You're not looking for anything serious. If you're going to be dating around, you should also tell the other person that, hey, look, I'm dating lots of people right now. I haven't decided on one, so that you don't, break their heart or hurt their feelings, because they may wrap a lot up into you. Just because you're dating around doesn't mean that they are. There's a lot that goes into dating, and texting has become a huge part of dating that didn't even exist when I was first dating back in the day. Texting can get you into trouble because sometimes people read into texts a lot and they say, oh, what did they mean by that? Or how did they mean that? So be careful with texting. When you over-explain things, it comes across as callous. And sometimes when you under-explain things, it does. So texting you got to get good at texting. If you're not good at texting, it may hurt your dating abilities. One of the big things too is we need to stay calm in our communication, but also be confident, because your confidence will come through on your texting and your phone conversations and your dating. It shows a level of emotional maturity and that you're grounded. And both men and women want that. We want to find people that are emotionally mature and grounded. It can be confusing because a lot of people will ghost you. A lot of people will lead you on and then completely disappear. A lot of the dating right now is just kind of surface level. You'll go on a date and it's a little fake, honestly. I always come out on my dates as pretty honest. Great, if you like what you see, great. If not, then move on. I'm not going to fake for anyone. And the reason is because I don't want to date someone for 3 months and then think I'm one way and then come across, and then when they get to know the real me, they don't like it. I'm very much upfront about who I am. And if they don't like me, that's okay. Honestly, dating feels exhausting these days. It's not because love is dead, but it's because communication is broken down. People don't know how to talk. We're focused mostly on communication today because that's such an integral part of dating. Fear of the unknown, fear of talking to people is still a problem for people. People want to connect, but they also want to protect themselves without the gameplay. They want to talk to people. They don't want to be ghosted. If you're talking to someone every day and then you just disappear for 3 or 4 days, that's considered ghosting. Even if you haven't dated them, it's still considered ghosting. So do the nice thing and say, look, I'm just not feeling it, and just say goodbye. There's no reason to gameplay with people. I think we need to be more clear, because we need to respect ourselves, but we also need to respect others. If you're clear and honest about what you're looking for and what your attraction levels are, it will go a long way. I know there's a lot of pushy people out there, but you have the right to say no if you're not interested. I encourage that. If you're not interested, just say no. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, you're going to know how to communicate without chasing people. And chasing is not good. I don't really think chasing is great on either side because it always makes one side look desperate. But there should be an equal back and forth communication. If you're having anxiety around texting, that's kind of a sign that you need to do some more internal work, just so you know. If you're anxious about somebody not texting or texting, go look inside and find out where your flaws are and what you need to work on. But don't lead people on. Don't lead people on. Don't try to manipulate them. It's just not a good way. And you're going to lose out on people that could really very well be your soulmate. I think dating right now feels a little hostile. We go back to the time before there was texting and people would meet people in bars, they'd meet people at clubs, they'd meet people at events. They still do that. There wasn't a bunch of texting first off. Right now, when you meet someone on a dating app, the first thing you do is you text them. And it can be, they can ghost you. They can give you breadcrumbs where they're just every once in a while reaching out to you and kind of leading you on. Or there's like a hot, cold behavior. This is making it feel very hostile to date for a lot of people because what's happening is people have access to hundreds of other people and they're weighing one person against another. There's a scale. If you don't rise to the top of it and you're not a great texter, you're going to lose out. A lot of good men may lose out because they're not good at texting. But something you need to develop. Don't text too fast culture is going on right now. Like there's a rule that, you can't text them back right away. I kind of disagree. I think it's disrespectful to wait a day to text someone back. I think there's this internal power struggle going on with texting that doesn't need to be there. If you're honest and open, I'm not saying as soon as someone texts you, jump on the phone and, I got to text them back right away. But don't wait for a long time just to play some game. If you want to text them back, text them back. Games are not confidence. It's fear that you're wearing as a costume. It really is. When you play games with somebody, you're just afraid of finding out yourself and finding out who they are. But if you're playing games, you're being tricky and manipulative and fake. Here's the truth. If you're a game player and you're texting someone, they'll just walk away now. It used to be when people played games, they were playing coy and playing hard to get. It worked. But now, if someone plays games or they constantly ghost you or breadcrumb you, most people will just say, I'm not interested and walk away. They do that because they're like, I got 100 other people waiting in my queue that aren't ghosting me, or at least 50. So people don't have to wait around for your gameplay and your manipulation. People don't like it. Emotionally mature people aren't playing games because when emotionally mature people see the gameplay, we recognize it as complete manipulation. We leave quickly. If you're going to gameplay with people and try to manipulate people, they're just going to leave. I mean, I had a person do that to me and I just left. I just ended it right there. I couldn't take it. I was like, I deserve more. I deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. I found it very disrespectful, the whole ghosting and hot and cold behavior. I don't like that. It's a waste of my time because honestly, if you're hot and cold now, how are you going to be in a relationship? If you gameplay now, are you going to gameplay the whole relationship? I don't want a manipulative relationship. I've done with narcissists. I don't want that. If that's what you're looking for, then kudos. But most people don't want that. Most people want honesty. They want maturity. They want consistency because quite frankly, if you're not consistent with your texting and communication, you're going to find that people don't want to be around you. So I will say I've dated people that were very consistent and I've dated people that were not consistent at all. The people that were not consistent, they annoyed me. It was more of an annoyance. I was like, well, maybe they'll follow up. Maybe they won't. I just kind of gave up on even caring. Because if they're not consistent, it shows me they don't really care. Now, when they're consistent, it shows they care. Why would I chase someone that doesn't care about me unless I want to, self-sacrifice myself? So games, they create distrust. There's no desire for a person that is playing games with you. The desire goes away. It might be fun for a little bit, but it's gone after any amount of time. A secure person also. A person that you're looking for as a secure partner, they're going to show up. They're going to be consistent. If someone's secure and you're game playing, which I would expect most people want a secure relationship, not an anxious relationship and not an avoidant. Most people want a secure partner. If you're playing games, anybody that's secure, they're just going to say, too bad, I'm done, and leave and walk away. So you're going to be left with the crappy people, and then you're going to complain about it because you're only dating crazy men that are either avoidant or have anxiety or anxious. Avoidants, they're the ones that play the most games. Realize that if somebody's being an avoidant, they're talking to you, and then they ghost you, that's probably an avoidant type of personality. We did talk about the personality types and the attachment styles. If you date an avoidant, it's very difficult to pin them down. And a person that's anxious probably overtexts. That's kind of annoying too. You want somebody that's got a nice, even keel, consistent, and not over the top. Let's talk about the art of honest communication, because I'm a big believer in honesty in relationships. I don't think you should play games. I don't think you should try to manipulate. That's kind of an old school tactic that people would use to reel a man in or reel a woman in. They would play games. They would do hot and cold. They'd play hard to get. Doesn't work as well anymore. You're going to be left with people that are anxious or people that aren't necessarily the person you want to be with. When you talk to someone, you need to be clear, you need to be calm and kind. You need to be honest. You need to tell them exactly how you feel, exactly what you're looking for. Don't date someone and tell them you're looking for marriage when all you're wanting to do is a hookup, because that's manipulative. That's not going to last. It's going to work out very poorly in your favor and theirs. But if they expressed interest, then you can express interest back. You don't need to get attached right away. Interest is just saying, hey, I think you're nice. Maybe we can go out sometime. Or if they say, hey, I'd like to take you out, great. If you're a woman, I do feel like it's the man's job, though, to take a woman out and schedule the events. Men, I think it's time for you to step up and be men again. I think if you're going to take a woman out, you need to pay for their meal, because a woman does a lot to get ready for these dates. They're getting their nails done, their hair done, they're maybe even getting lashes put on. They're getting all done up just for you for a date. And I think it's important that a man takes a woman out and shows her a good time. If you're going to take a woman out, take her out, show her a nice meal, go to a nice place, go dancing, maybe whatever your interests are. But I do think it's important for a man to schedule. Don't go somewhere to like a movie on a first date, because you're not going to be able to talk to the person. I believe that if you express interest, that they will express interest back. If they don't, then move on. There's no pressure to find a person that's not interested in you. Just move on. Okay. So if you share that you're interested and they say, oh, I'm kind of interested, I'm not really into you, then just move on. For example, if somebody says, I enjoy talking to you, I'd like to see where this goes, that's a sign of interest. A woman may say, I'm dating intentionally, but I let things unfold naturally. That's a way to say, hey, I'm looking for more of a long-term thing, but I'm going to let it unfold naturally. That's not saying, hey, I want to get married right away. I mean, come on, ladies, let's be honest. Just to date with intention. Being clear and honest is attractive to men. Being clear and honest about what your desires and wants and needs are is attractive as well. If you date a man and you want a man that makes a lot of money, then be clear and honest. If you date a guy that's not making a lot of money, then at least he knows he's not a good fit. If you're dating a man that you want to have 6 foot tall, then that's fine. Everyone has different desires. Everyone has different needs. You should know what those are. When you find it, great. If you don't, just keep trying. It's like anything in life. You might have to date 100 people before you find your one. That's the truth. If you spend your time with the wrong person for too long, you'll miss out on opportunities that you might have found the right one. So don't date someone just to have someone. Date someone with intention. Date someone clearly that you are attracted to, and don't date them if you find that you're not. When you're ambiguous with people, you're not going to find the person you want. So be clear, be honest, and look for exactly what you're looking for. Let's talk again about texting. Let's text and not scare the people away, okay? When you start texting in the early dating stages, I would say that you're not texting all day long. You're just texting, hey, you have a great day, or it's really cute to have a man say in the morning, good morning, hope you're having a wonderful day. That's really nice. Then sometimes they'll text in the evenings. If you talk to them on the phone, great. But you don't need to have more than 1 to 3, 1 to 5 text exchanges during the day. In fact, honestly, I think a couple to 2 to 3 is probably the best. You talk to them real quick in the morning, and then maybe you talk to them later in the day after work. It doesn't have to be a lot. It does need to be consistent, though. So if a man is starting to early date you and he's not reaching out to you every day or every other day, it's probably not a good fit, because they're probably dating other people and you're just one of the many. Man, you need to be consistent for a woman to actually want to give you her time. If you're not texting her at least once a day and you're starting to date her, she's probably going to lose interest and move on to the next guy as well. So consistency is king. Even when you're dating and even when you're like long-term dating, be consistent. Consistency is better than intensity, I will say. It's more important to say hello and talk a little bit than have a strong intensity. Chat with them 15 times a day. It's more important just to be consistent. Then match each other's energy. Try not to exceed it. If somebody's really happy one day and they text you 6 or 7 times because they just won something at work or they got promoted, that's okay. But on regular days, let's match each other's energy. Because matching energy matters too. If you're dating someone and they're really low key and they only want to text you once a week and you want to be texted every day, it's a sign they're not a great fit. All right. Then what should you be texting is a good question next, because I think you should be curious about the other person. If you're not curious about the other person and trying to ask them questions and find out more about them, what are you doing? If you're looking for a relationship or marriage or even just a long-term dating partner, you should be curious about the other person. You should want to know more about them. You should want to know about their family, about their past relationships, about who they are as a person, about where they work, about what their hobbies are. Be curious. Then also show appreciation. Like, for instance, every morning they text you and they're super consistent. You tell them, hey, I love it when you text me in the morning. I really appreciate it. It brightens my day. That's a great thing to say. I did text one person back that one time. He was very consistent. As soon as I told him I liked it, he stopped doing it. That was a sign that he was just playing games. When people play games with me, I just leave. I'm done. The more I tell people I like something, when I show them appreciation, if they don't continue to do it after the appreciation, they're just playing games, then I just move on. It shouldn't be too intense. You're looking in the beginning just to have like kind of a light emotional presence. It doesn't have to be over the top. By all means, people, stop texting nude pictures. Do you guys realize how much blackmail is possible when you guys text nude pictures to each other? Do you realize, I don't care what age you are, stop texting nude pictures, period. It's ridiculous at this point. And no, women don't want to see the size of your long john down there. We don't want to see it, so stop texting it. I think a healthy text is something like, I appreciate the fact that you texted me earlier. I liked how thoughtful you were. Or tell them if they make you smile or they make you laugh. Just be genuine and honest. Whatever language you like to use, be genuine and honest without the over-the-top perversion, guys. I don't think it's okay to flirt a little bit. It's kind of weird to have people like over-the-top talking sexual explicit text in the very beginning, because that just means somebody's looking for a hookup. If that's what you're looking for, fine. But if not, when you see those over explicit texts, it's kind of like a see you later. The other thing is try not to over explain. If somebody asks you a question, how many kids do you have? Try not to over explain. Just be careful with over explaining, because that's more for a phone conversation than in a text message. Then don't constantly check in. Don't tell them where you're going all day long. I just got to the gym. I just got to the hairdresser. I just got to the grocery store. If you're checking in over and over again, it's going to be annoying. They have stuff to do too, guys. This is early dating. You're not part of their circle yet. Just give it some space. And don't do passive-aggressive silence is what I call it. It's when people, they get upset about something, so they just ghost you. And it might be something you texted that was misconstrued. If you get upset about something, just say, hey, look, I didn't like the way you spoke to me in that last text. Did you mean this? Or, hey, I don't appreciate being spoken to that way. Please explain why you said that. That's a way to have proper communication. There's been so much lost in proper communication that I don't think people realize it's an art. It's an art to communicate with people the right way. Most people have forgotten how. When you can't communicate with people, how are you going to communicate in a relationship? If you act like throw a temper tantrum early on, we're going to look at you as a little child that's just looking for a mommy. Remember, texting does matter, and you need to learn how to do it in a more appropriate way. One of the things I don't do is I don't ghost people and I don't lead them on. If I'm interested in someone, I'll say, oh, you seem very nice. I don't make the first move on dates. If somebody wants to ask me out, that's up to you. I might say, I'd love to get to know you more, but I'm not going to say, hey, take me out. If somebody wants to ask me out, they can. I don't push for that. If they want to follow through with plans after I say, hey, I think it'd be nice to meet you sometime, great. Or I think I'd like to get to know you more, great. That's showing interest without scheduling a date. But be kind and brief and honest. Don't over push when you're when you're pushing someone. But I would say it's better if you're not interested in someone just to say, hey, you know what? It's not a good fit. It's not what I'm looking for right now. After dating this one person, we aligned and clicked really well. So I decided to not go out on dates with the other people. I told him, I said, look, I met someone I align with. I kind of want to see where it goes. I ended up canceling the other dates with the other people because when I find someone that I align with, I do want to see if I can take it further. I don't want to be dating around. Now, if I'm not aligned with anybody and it's just kind of so-so, I might go on a date or two with a guy or 3 dates and then see if it's a good match. Sometimes it takes a couple dates, 2-3 dates before you figure out if you align with them. Sometimes you find out on the first date. It's not always the first date, but sometimes it is. If you align with them, great. If you don't, that's okay. Try it again, maybe go on a second or third date. But when you're dating, you can date more than one person when you're doing first, second, third dates. I don't recommend sleeping with multiple people, but it's your call. But if you're going out on a date with a person on first or second time, usually you haven't slept with them yet. You're just kissing them or maybe even just hugging. You don't even know where you're at. Most people aren't intimate with people until they get, at least especially at our age, until they've been dating a person for a while. If you're dating and you're dating several people, don't ghost them. Just say, hey, look, I found someone else, or I'm just not that into you. I think you're a great person, but it's not a good match. Most people understand. We're adults. We're matured by now. If you're going out with a guy that's not mature, then you need to have a better picker, honestly. Because if you're taking someone out or going out with somebody that is a little on the weird or crazy side, I know you can't determine it all up front, but you need to be more selective on your screening process. You need to screen better in the beginning so that you're not going on dates with people that aren't worth your time. If you go on a date and you align, you can just say, I enjoyed meeting you. I had a lot of fun. Love to do it again sometimes. That's a nice thing to say. If you don't align, you just say, I enjoyed meeting you, but I'm not in alignment. I'm looking for something different. But I wish you the best. I hope for you the best. Now, if they sit there and say, what did I do wrong? That's showing you somebody that, won't let it go. Sometimes you just have to say, look, it's just not a good fit and let it go. Now, if a person keeps pushing, you do have the right to block them. But I always let them know it's just not a good fit in the beginning. Ghosting out there, though, people, you have to realize, or they may have had a great date and you didn't. When you ghost someone, you're actually creating emotional damage in the other person. You're making them have more boundaries, and it's not fair. It's not right, because you wouldn't like to be ghosted either, especially if you really like the person. If you really like the person and it's not a good fit, or if they really liked you and it wasn't a good fit, just let them know so that you don't lead them on. There's no reason to lead people on. There's no reason to be abusive to people's emotions. It's not a game. Let's be nice and kind to each other, even when we're not interested, okay? Because you never know. You might be friends with the person in the future. You might end up working with them in the same company. You never know where you're going to run into the person. So if you ghost them, you're creating a really bad reputation for yourself, and you're creating a lot of animosity towards you and a lot of negative energy towards you. I don't think that's a good thing to do. Having closure, even in a dating situation, it shows emotional maturity. So if you can give someone closure and say, look, it just wasn't a good fit, instead of ghosting them, come on. Don't ghost people. It's so ridiculous at this point. It's like you lead them on and then you just shut down, and that's just so cruel. Stop being cruel to each other. Stop ghosting each other. If you don't like them, just tell them. It shows a level of integrity and self-respect. If you can actually tell someone, hey, look, it's just not a good fit. I don't care if you've gone on 10 dates with them. If it's not a good fit, just be honest and tell them. Even if you're dating someone for 6 months or a year, just tell them it's not a good fit. You don't have to be in any relationship you don't want to be in. And that's the truth. Most of us have either had a marriage or gotten divorced or lost a spouse, and we've been through this before. So there's no reason, if you're dating in your 40s, 50s, 60s, in order for you to ghost anyone. I've seen it so many times by both men and women, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anybody that ghosts me, if they come back a week or two later and want to ask me out, I'm just like, no. I'm not interested, because you already showed me who you were as a person. You showed me your true character by ghosting me the first time. I'm not interested. And ghosting is kind of a version of game playing. It destroys all hopes of future relationships or love or intimacy, because nobody wants to be ghosted. And if you don't want to be ghosted, I'm always a big believer of the golden rule. Stop ghosting other people. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. I know there's a push-pull dynamic, but it can be exhausting to secure people. I think if you're just honest, and now I tend to be a person that texts back, I don't know, within 5-10 minutes. When somebody texts me, I just text them back. If somebody says good morning, I'll text back good morning. I don't need to wait till noon. But I don't like the push-pull dynamic because I'm a pretty secure person. I don't want to deal with the gameplay. If somebody texts me, I text them back. The only time I don't is if I'm in a meeting or in an appointment. But I do that with everyone, friends, family, relationships. I'm not going to play games. I find that people that play games with me, they're emotionally immature, and I don't want to deal with emotionally immature people. Sometimes people do it to test the other person to see how much they're into them. The problem is that creates a lot of resentment. You're creating gameplay and resentment in a relationship that you're trying to build trust in. How can you build trust when you're playing games? It doesn't work. Power games, it blocks trust, it blocks safety, it blocks intimacy. It changes the feeling of a relationship. These games, you may think you've got the upper hand, but why would you want the upper hand? Because a relationship is supposed to be more of a partnership. It's supposed to be two people coming together and aligning. When you're playing games, you're not creating a partnership. You're creating animosity. You're creating resentment. You're exhausting anyone that has a secure attachment style. Those are the people you want to be attached to, not the ones that are anxious, not the ones that have avoidant issues. Remember that. You don't win love by pretending that you don't care. If you're showing someone a lack of caring, thinking that I'm playing a game here to see if they'll come back, whether it's a guy or a girl, if you pretend you don't care, most people say goodbye and walk away. There's too many fish in the sea now, people. It's not like it was 30, 40 years ago when there wasn't anybody online. It's not like that anymore. Now, if you show that you don't care, people just walk away. They're like, fine, I'll go find somebody that does care for me, that does match my energy, that does match my alignment, that does show me care and consideration, because that's what we're all looking for, care and consideration. We want somebody to align with us. We want somebody to match our energy, match our vibe. And if the people out there aren't, it's not a good match. So when we communicate, you want to not lead people on. You don't want to lose yourself in the communication either. There's a balance. All right. So I know when I was dating a lot of people, it was a lot of work. When you're dating multiple people, you're going to find that it's a challenge. When you date multiple people, you have to keep up with multiple streams of communication. So hopefully you can get it narrowed down quickly, because I really don't like dating more than 2 or 3 people in a given week. But if you're showing interest, that doesn't create obligation. There's a balance. If you have boundaries, it doesn't mean you're rejecting someone. It just means you're protecting yourself in ways you need to. And if you're attracted to someone, that doesn't mean you're always available for them either. Just because there's attraction doesn't mean that you have to be at their beck and call. So there's a balance. And I think as mature adults, we realize that there's a balance. People have work obligations. They have family obligations. They may have children. They may have exes they have to deal with. They may have friends that they have obligations with. Remember, there's a balance in all. You can enjoy someone without promising a future to them. You can enjoy spending time with someone. You can enjoy a relationship. You don't have to move as quickly as they do. You move at your own pace, because you don't owe access to anyone just because they like you. You only owe yourself the truth. If you like them, great. If you don't, then if you're wanting to spend time with them to see if it develops, fine. If you don't like them, it's probably best you move on. But things move at different paces for different people. And remember that. Some people fall in love faster than others, but you don't have to sacrifice yourself to keep someone interested in you ever, 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 ever. Never give up your work, never give up your home, never give up your schedule, never give up your workouts just because someone's interested in you. Keep your schedule going and add them. If you don't have time to add them, maybe it's not the right time to be dating them to your schedule. Add them to your life, because dating should be calm, not chaotic. It should not create a sense of chaos. If it is, it's probably not the right fit, because when you date the right person, they should give you a sense of calm, a sense of peace, a sense of freedom, a sense of joy. It shouldn't be chaotic. But if it's familiar, that's a good sign as well, because if it's a confusing dating situation, meaning if they're not texting or ghosting you or manipulating or game playing, that's confusing, and that is kind of a turnoff for people that are looking to find a soulmate, because a soulmate is calm. A soulmate feels familiar. I always say a soulmate feels like home. It feels peaceful. It feels like you've known them forever. When you spend time together, time seems to stop. And you could spend 4 hours together and it feels like 30 minutes. You might feel like a kid again, like a teenager. Everything's playful and fun again. They will definitely make you feel safe. They will not be putting on a performance. They will not be faking. They will make you feel safe. But you can only match with a soulmate if you're honest, open, and trusting of other people as well. But to find a soulmate, and that's what I think we're all looking for, you have to be honest in your communication. You have to text with honesty. You have to look for with intention if you're looking for a soulmate. When you align with someone, it's going to have mutual effort. So if I call it the art of reciprocity, if someone is giving me reciprocal attention and a reciprocal care and consideration, that's a good long way to finding a soulmate, because a soulmate you want to align with. You want there to be emotional ease, and you want it to feel natural and consistent every single day. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should be easy. It shouldn't be hard. It does help if you have shared values. If you have shared values, it's much more likely that this could be a soulmate or someone that you're going to have long-term in your life. So remember, shared values, you're emotionally relaxed, you feel peaceful, and a soulmate doesn't make you anxious. It doesn't make you avoidant. A secure soulmate is going to make you feel calm, make you feel peaceful. It's going to make you feel joy on a daily basis. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Sometimes the person you think is not going to be a good match or was just going to be a friend ends up being a soulmate. It very well may happen. Now, just because they're soulmate doesn't mean you stay together forever. Sometimes soulmates come in and out of your lives. You never know until you develop that relationship. You just never know. I think what people are looking for in dating is it's not perfection. It's not the thrill of the ups and downs, especially when you get a little bit older and more mature. And it's really not their status. It's more emotional safety, consistency, care, lovingness. It's also nice to be chosen without feeling like you're constantly competing with other people. I will say that part of the reason why I stopped dating other people when I found the guy I was dating that I liked was because I didn't want him to feel like he was still competing with other people. I wanted him to be open and show me who he was so I could decide whether or not he would be a good long-term fit. You can always go back to other people. If you were honest and said, look, I just met somebody I really like, I don't know, or I'm going to see where it's good. I would say I'm going to see where it goes. I want to see how it fits. I'll let you know if it doesn't work out, but right now I'm going to focus on this. People respect that. People, when they see that, they respect that. They're okay with allowing you to come back in the future potentially. Let's say it doesn't work out with the guy that you're dating and you want to go back to one of the people you dated before. If you just say, look, it didn't work out with the other guy, or are you still single? They might still want to go on a date with you. But if you ghost them, there's no way. There's no way, because you take away that sense of honesty and trust that you're so trying to build when you first start dating someone. It's hard to build trust with people that have been hurt in the past. So when you're trying to build trust, you've got to be honest and open and ethical. It is nice to feel seen, respected, and desired as well. So the more you can do that for your partner and the more they can do that for you, the more secure you're going to feel in your relationship. Even in the very beginning, peace plus passion creates a crazy connection that you're going to find with someone. When you find those connections, you're going to be like, wow, I was missing this before. How is that even possible? Not everyone is right for everyone else. Like, for instance, you may like a person that holds your hand. Other people may like it not to hold hands in public. They are embarrassed by it. You may like a person that walks up and gives you a kiss every time you see them. Other people aren't like that. It depends on what you're looking for. That's why it's so important to align. Alignment is so amazing. Alignment, not just sexually, but alignment with communication, because it's going to make you feel secure. So if they text you and you text them back, and then they text you again, you text them back, and there's a consistent communication, you're going to feel more secure in a relationship. If they text you and you don't text back till the end of the day, every day, or you wait 3 or 4 hours, you're going to create insecurity in the relationship, which you may think is a gameplay, but over time, it will really break down that relationship. I think that people also appreciate effort. And when people do give an effort in your relationship, you should state it out loud. You should thank them. Thank them for what they've done for you. And address any issues that you have early on. Talk to people. I mean, come on, communication, we really need to develop as a skill set. The calmer you can be when you communicate with people and tell them your concerns, and the earlier you do it, the less likely it is to develop into a full-blown fight or to have an issue later on. So if somebody does something that hurts your feelings or rubs you the wrong way because your boundaries are up or whatever, just tell the person, say, hey, look, this really annoyed me, or this hurt my feelings, or I didn't feel good about this. And when you tell them, it's a good thing to do, because that way they realize that maybe they shouldn't do it. Now, if they keep doing it over and over and over again, that's kind of a sign that maybe they're not the right fit. Don't ignore it when people violate your boundaries. But when they do, sometimes they don't know. If, for instance, you want a guy that helps you to assemble things, but you don't tell him to help you, how's he going to know? Because sometimes women are like, oh, he should know better. No, not all men do. So sometimes they need a little help. Now, if you tell them over and over again and they're not getting it, that's a sign that they just don't really care. But if you tell them once or twice and they get it and they help out, that's a good way to go. But don't introduce fear into your relationship by playing games. And that's all it does. It creates insecurity where there doesn't need to be insecurity. And the newer the relationship, the more insecurity that both people will have. There's always going to be a little bit of insecurity in a new relationship. So why do you want to add to it? There's no purpose in adding to it. Don't create a problem where peace should be existing, where safety should be. If you're creating problems and creating issues in your relationship just to see if you can have the upper hand or be more powerful, you're not creating a partnership. You're creating a dominance, which will cause the relationship to end eventually anyway. But in general, and just kind of to wrap this up, love is not confusing. When you know all those sayings, it's kind of true. When you align, you'll know, and it'll feel different than all the others. You don't need a strategy. You just need to trust yourself that you can interpret and find your right person. Because the right person will respond authentically. They're not going to have games. They're not going to have tactics. They're not going to ghost you. They're going to be loyal. They're going to be loving, and they're going to be into you. But you're going to have to do some reflection on how you communicate and what you're looking for. Don't do anything out of fear. If you're fearful, maybe it's time to do some inner work on you. Don't be creating fear in your relationship or have any habits around fear, because clarity in your relationship is super important, and clarity is more important than fear. It's more important than control. I would say the more honest you can be in a relationship, the more loving you can be in a relationship, and the more you can communicate on a consistent basis, the more likely you're going to have good dating partners. Not everybody's going to align with you, and that's okay. But when you find the one that does, I hope that you stick with them. This is Diva Mia signing off. You guys have a wonderful day and happy holidays.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professional. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. The Diva Details and its affiliate contributors and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from the use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.